So in this module, we're going to be talking about optimizing images for a website. The reason we're going to do this now is we're going to start putting some images into our website for our clients, and for every single image that you upload to use for your website this semester, you're going to be expected to optimize every image. The reason we optimize images is because we don't want these big, huge images on our website when people are trying to load our websites. If we have a website with like a 2400 by 2400 dimension, and you're just putting it in a little 600 by 400 spot, that image could be 3 or 4 megabytes when it really only needs to be 60, 70 kilobits. So we're going to take into consideration some of those things. You got to think of this in terms of like if somebody's on has like a 3G signal or a really bad cell phone or Wi-Fi service somewhere like that, and they're trying to get your website to load. If you're on the CSU internet or your home internet, that's good. It's going to download these images instantly, but you got to think about the worst case scenario where some people might not have the best internet when they're trying to get to your website. So we need our websites to load super fast. This is going to tie into our search engine optimization chapters that are coming up. So one of the main things for search engine optimization is Google is not going to suggest sites in the search results if the websites aren't going to load fast, if it's going to take forever to load. Essentially, we want sites to load in about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. 3 seconds is getting too long. So we're going to take a lot of care this semester about getting our websites to run as fast as we can. So every single image that you upload this semester will be optimized, as I said before. If you don't do this, we are going to have a tool that's going to scan our websites later in the semester. So if you are not optimizing these photos, you're going to have a ton of work to do later in the semester to go back and re-optimize these photos and then take them out and then re-upload them. So take the time to get these optimized. As a general practice, I optimize every single image I put up on any website, anything I put up on my teaching site here. If I flip through these images in the back end, you're going to see all of these images are optimized. They have titles, alt text titles. If you look at any of these images, they're going to be reduced all the way down. So sometimes it's annoying when you're just trying to get something up really fast, but it's going to pay off in the end that your sites are going to be working as fast as they should be. So I'll let you read through this module and go through it. This isn't bad. You are not going to be submitting anything when you go through this module, so don't kind of do this. Read through it to try to understand it. There will be a quiz on all this. Just keep in mind a few things. Understand that you can shrink file sizes multiple different ways. This is going to talk about the dimensions of an image. So this is a quiz question. A lot of people kind of miss this. When we're shrinking the dimensions of an image, like I said before, if we have a 24 by 1600 image and it's just a little small profile picture at the top of your page, it's a complete waste of space. So one of the first things we're going to do with image optimization is we're just going to go into a program. You can use Photoshop, you can use Paint. I recommend Paint.net as a free program, which is a pretty good one. And we're just going to take that and we're just going to push the file size down, and that's going to save a ton of file size. And even if you take this big photo and you put it into your website and it looks small, the person looking at your website still has to download that entire picture before it gets shrunk down to be displayed on their monitor. So and the other thing that we're doing with images as far as file size is called losslessly compressing the image. And you're gonna see that in here. We're gonna be using a program called TinyPNG, where we take our already reduced image and just have it get scanned in here. This is kind of hard to see even for me, but we take an image right here and it's already been shrunk down, but it's a hero image that's going to go at the top of the website. So this is 3.1 megabytes before we scan this and put this in. And just by shrinking it with this TinyPNG tool, It's only 907 kilobits after we shrink it down, which is a 70% saving. So the picture is going to be exactly the same. It's going to have the exact same dimensions. There's going to be no difference in the picture. It's just going to be, they're kind of reworking the code a little bit within that image to just get the file size a lot smaller. So try to understand those. Try not to get those confused. Let me just look through here real quick. Labeling images, editing them in there. For this plugin down here, you could throw this plugin. This is just a plugin that after you optimize images, you could put it in a website and it kind of smushes them a little bit more. So if you want, you can throw that in your website. It's up to you. I always do. So the summary of this article is up here, and this just kind of gives you all the steps you're going to take every time that you optimize an image. So you're going to make sure you have the exact size that you need or close enough. A lot of times when you're working with templates, you don't know if this thing, is exactly 400 by 600 or 400 by 500. So if it's just a little bit bigger than that, that's fine. Don't make it a little bit smaller, or you're gonna lose image quality when it tries to blow it up to fit that space. You're gonna shrink it with tiny PNG. You're gonna give all file names a really good and accurate name. When you upload it into WordPress, you're going to, if you give it a really good title name, you just copy that into the alt tag and choose what happens to your file in your page or your post. I'm not going to deal with that too much this semester because that's more for blog posts, but you need to know how to work with images once they're in a blog post. And then also using a plugin to further compress your image, which is the WP Smush down there. So last thing I will say, just to reinforce this, because this may or may not be on the next quiz, is the alt tag. And with the alt tag, what we're doing is Google used to not be able to know what images are when it's uploaded into a website. Google could read text, but Google, if you put an image into a website, Google would have no idea what that is. With machine learning, Google's starting to get really good at knowing what images is, but the reason we use alt tags in the past was so that Google would know what images we're uploading into our websites. And it's still important to do. It's good for SEO. It's good to have like a good keyword-rich description in the alt tag. And the reason it's becoming more and more important now is for the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. They're requiring it that websites need to be accessible for people that can't see. So if somebody's using a program that reads the website to them, the alt tag is going to be read to the person who's on the website to explain what the images are in the website. So think about that when you're creating your alt tags. If somebody can't see your website and there's an image, how would you best describe that image to Google, to that person, and etc. So not too bad. Go through this article, and then in the next module, you're going to be uploading an image into your WordPress website, and you have to have that image optimized.